I would like to welcome you to today's webinar, SEO Strategies Made Simple, Generating Leads from the Internet in Today's Competitive Market. This webinar is being held in conjunction with the Outsourcing Institute's Sell More Outsourcing series. My name is Arlene Itori, and I'm a webinar coordinator for the Outsourcing Institute, and it is our pleasure to be the co-host of today's event with Net Advisory Group. I'll be working in the background to help answer any technical or general questions that you may have. We encourage you at any time during the presentation to submit your questions to today's speaker. To do this, click on the questions box, type your question in the space provided, and click on the Submit button. Today's webinar is being recorded. You will be receiving a follow-up email in approximately 2 days, which will include a link with today's recorded webinar and presentation slides. The webinar recording and the presentation slides will also be available at outsourcing.com. So without further ado, I will now turn it over to our moderator, Dan Goodstein, Managing Director at the Outsourcing Institute, for the formal introduction of today's speaker. Thank you.
Thanks, Arlene. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you are calling in from today. This is Dan Goodstein. I run the promotions group here at the Outsourcing Institute, and thanks for joining us for SEO Strategies Made Simple. Today's session, as Arlene mentions, is part of our SMO webinar series, which is aimed at helping our members better sell and market outsourcing. For those of you who don't know OI, the few of you on the line who may not be familiar with us, real quick background, we are the largest professional association of outsourcing executives in the world, 70,000 members globally, and we really sit at the center of the outsourcing ecosystem, connecting buyers, providers, and influencers, advisors, consultants, and media as it relates to the outsourcing business. We're most known for our marketing and sponsorship programs to reach the outsourcing marketplace, but more recently are being asked to do lead generation and performance-based activities. So if there's any desire for many of you to talk to one of my team members about that, please reach out. It's an exciting spring for us here at OI. We have a couple important things happening in addition to our regular programming. One is our New York City Roadshow will be held this year, June 28th in New York. So we're currently planning that event. So please join us if you will be in New York or can travel to New York for June 28th. And we're also a few months away from launching the new outsourcing.com, which is very exciting for us and for the industry as a whole. So more information coming on that shortly. As sales and marketing people, SEO is a critical piece of the puzzle for us that many are lacking. It's gone from sort of something that's good to know to something that's a need to know. But I believe it's at a point where our sales and marketing programs can't be successful without it. SEO is one of those things that many claim to get it, but few really do, especially as it relates to business goals and complex sales like outsourcing. The speaker today is Ron Duckett. Ron is one of the few who do get it. He's leading the OI's SEO efforts right now, as well as OI's new outsourcing-specific SEO service, which is now available to our members. As far as a quick background, Ron left J.P. Morgan on Wall Street in 2004 to follow his passion as an internet marketer. His skills with SEO and direct marketing helped him generate over 2 million views per month on his websites and become a New York Times best-selling author with over 1 million books sold through Simon & Schuster. Today, Ron and his team focus their time on helping other businesses generate leads and opportunities through the internet. His clients include outsourcing.com, virtualassistant.org, trafficoutsourcing.com, and many others. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to Ron Duckett.
Thanks a lot, Dan. I really appreciate that kind intro. Today, some of the topics that we're going to cover include how the search engines decide their rankings, what it takes to outrank the competition, which is what everybody wants to know, how social media factors into SEO, why quality content is more important than ever in the search engine equation, especially with the latest updates with Google, how to find keywords your potential clients are really searching for. I mean, it really does you no good, to rank for keywords that your clients aren't really searching for, your potential clients. Any search engine company can rank you for a long tail keyword phrase that no one searches for, but the key is to find the keywords that your potential clients are really searching for. and what to look for when choosing a search engine optimization and search engine marketing company. So, tell you a little bit about the search engines. As many of you may know, the search engines are the #1 way to be found on the internet. 85 to 90% of all online traffic begins in the search engines. And even today, people are searching through the search engines on their smartphones, so it's getting even more traffic. 33% of internet users believe that companies found in the top search results must be a major brand. So there's a lot of credibility that comes with ranking in the top results. So really, to gain their business, they have to be able to find yours. So Google really dominates the search engine market. As you can see, it has a 65% market share. 65% of the searches are done through Google, which results in over 1.3 trillion searches globally in the last 12 months alone. So spiders and ranking. Let me tell you a bit about how the search engines work. The search engines use what's called spiders. A spider is a web bot, kind of like a computer program, and it spiders the content on your site. It goes through your site, looks at all the content, all the links on your site, and it follows all the links and indexes every web page that they can find from all the links on all the different sites online, indexes all the content from all the web pages that it can find. So the spiders read the content and return the data to the search engines for distribution in the search engines results pages. So the spiders, their sole mission in life is to fetch new content. So as I mentioned, Spider Bot, their electronic program, comes to your home page and it searches through all the links on your home page and it indexes all the content and adds it to the search engine's results. So what do the search engines really want? To understand how to rank better in the search engines, it's really important to know what the search engines want. So I'll talk a lot about Google, being that all the other search engines pretty much follow Google's lead, and what applies to Google kind of applies to them all. Google's #1 mission is a positive user experience. And if you think about it, if Google if that wasn't a #1 mission, and if all of a sudden like Bing became the better search engine, if people stop using Google because the results that they got when they search for aren't relevant, aren't valid, or scammy or whatever, people would start using Bing, and then Google would lose their market share. So their #1 focus is positive user experience. So how do they get that positive user experience? They want to index relevant content. So when someone does a search for IT outsourcing, they want the most relevant content to come up in the search results. They want fresh content. They want content that's new and fresh, which is why blogs rank really well, because Google identifies blogs as being updated frequently and being new and fresh content. They want unique content. They don't want to index, in the top 10 rankings in the search engines, they don't want to have like 3 or 4 of them be the same exact content. They want unique content. They also want approved content. When I say approved content, a big part of that has to do with, especially these days, social media references. So Google is not able to physically and manually look at every page on the internet. So they have to use their spiders and their algorithms to determine what content is approved, and they use people's response to the content as a vote for that content. So social media references is a big indicator to them. If people on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Twitter are linking to your content or referencing your content, now more than ever, these social media references count towards how relevant your page is and how people approve of that content. They also look at the average time on your page, on your web page, and on your site. So if you have good content on your site, they compare that to all the other sites that you're ranking up against, and they see, okay, people are staying longer on this particular page, on this particular site, which means that they probably enjoy the content on this site, which means that it's quality content. Like I said, they can't manually do every page, look at every page on every site, so they use these as criteria for determining. So if you have really good content, now more than ever, it matters, and it helps you rank really well. And the third criteria is links from other credible sites. So they know which sites they deem credible. So if you have links to your site from those other sites, they put you ahead of competitors that don't have those links. So links are very important. Each link is counted as a vote, and each link from a credible authority site in your niche, in your market, is an even stronger vote for your site. So in the search engine results, there's two types of results. You have the pay-per-click results, which practically anybody can rank for if you're willing to outbid the competitors, and these are based on keywords. So you could say, you want to rank for IT outsourcing proposal. If you want to rank for that, you could say whenever someone searches for that, I want my ad to show up, and I want to pay 25 cents per click whenever someone clicks it, or 50 cents per click, or depending on the competition, that determines how much you'll pay per click to rank in these paid search results. And that's a part of search engine marketing, because you don't really have to be optimized as much to do that. You could just pay for your rankings. The middle section these are the organic search results. So this is what a SEO company can place you for, and you don't have to pay for these. You just are ranked there based on the content and quality and optimization of your site. So the question is, how do we get to the top 10 on Google, or even the top 5? So this is an example of my site, Net Advisory Group, having 4 listings in the top 10 on Google for that particular phrase. So you get there through search engine optimization, which is really the process of improving your website structure, content, and end links, resulting in higher placement in the search results. So as I mentioned, Google can't manually review every page. So good search engine optimization, it finds that special balance between content and links, creating that perfect marriage. And page rank is very important also. Google assigns a page rank to every page in their index on the net. The page rank ranks between 0 and 10, 10 being the highest. The only site that's a 10-page rank is Google itself. For example, I think Microsoft Bing is like an 8, Yahoo maybe an 8 or a 9. So the higher the better, but if you have a page rank of 4 or 5, it's really good as well. Very few sites get up that high, 7 or 8 is really, really good. 5 is also good. I mean, outsourcing.com has a page rank of 5, and we've done work on that site as well. So page rank determines how relevant your site is, and the links that are pointing into your site from other sites determines your page rank. So the more links, the more visibility. So if you want to increase your page rank or the relevance that Google determines your page is on, you have quality content, you have other sites linking in, other sites that have a high page rank linking into your site. So I know that's kind of technical, but basically, the older your site is, the more links you have, the better and the more relevant you're deemed. And if you're getting links from other relevant sites, that's very important as well. So more links equal more visibility. And one of the key ways to do that, or one of the easiest free ways, is to do guest posting on authority sites in your marketplace. So if you guys wanted to add content to an authority site like outsourcing.com, or have a special section on the site, I'm sure Dan would hear your proposal to do that, and it will help your site out dramatically. So the steps to optimization that we typically use for our clients include researching profitable keywords, optimizing the on-site content, because you want to have it as friendly as possible, the setup, the coding, the page titles. You want your page to be as friendly as possible so the search engines can easily index them and determine that they're highly relevant. You want to, again, build highly relevant inbound links, more links than your competitors. So we have software that looks at your competition to see how many inbound links do they have to their site, where the links coming from. Can we also get links from the same sites that they have links from? So it's a whole competition with building links and building more links and higher quality links than your competitors, and that helps a lot with SEO. And then we analyze the results, and we do it all over again with different keywords, with focusing more on certain keywords that we want to focus on. So that's basically the process. It's a lot of grunt work involved in it, and a lot of research and analytics, but that's it in a nutshell. So I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. A solid foundation for optimization. The first focus of your site, I know you want to rank it well in the search engines and everything, but if you're not if it's not doing what you intend for it to do, which is building leads, which is generating, you know, new sales leads for your sales team, new phone calls into your sales team, new people added to your email list, you know, the number one focus should still be, does it sell? Because it doesn't matter if people come to your site. If your site doesn't perform like you want it to, it's just wasted traffic. So does it sell? Does it have quality content? Is the content rich? The inbound links, the navigation, is it easily, can people get from one page to another? Do you have a site map on your site showing, you know, the different pages of your site so the search engines can easily index it? Is it easy to get around? Is it user-friendly? Keywords in the page title. That's one of the main on-page optimization factors, is your main keywords in the page titles. So each page has a title, and I could show you an example of that, I suppose. Let's see. So if we go to outsourcing.com, you'll see up here, this is the title of the page, you know, IT outsourcing. So these keywords are right in the title, so it's optimized for those particular keywords. So that's what I mean about. So each page on your site should be optimized for a particular keyword in order to improve your rankings. Is your site updated often? Limited Flash, because Flash doesn't get indexed in the search engines. Is it filled with the right keywords that you're trying to use, or the keywords included in the body of the articles on your site? Do you have the correct tags? So these are all things that we look at for our clients. So let me show you an example of the Google keyword. Now, as I mentioned, keywords are very important because keywords are what you actually rank for. So you want to know what keywords your potential clients are searching for, and you want to rank in the top 10 or preferably in the top 3 in Google for those particular keywords. So let me show you an example. Google has their own keyword tool that anybody can sign up for a free account and use the Google keyword tool. So let me show you an example of what a good search engine company will do for you versus what a bad search engine company will do for you. So if we were wanting to rank for information technology outsourcing, right, there's a big difference, a dramatic difference between how many people are searching for outsource IT versus how many people are searching for IT outsourcing. And if you look here, these show the global monthly searches. So outsource IT only gets 1.2 million searches, whereas IT outsourcing gets 2.2 million searches. So these are broad searches. So a bad search engine company will tell you that, you know, if we get you ranked #1, you know, you're going to get, you know, 2.2 million searches because that's how many times it's searched for. But, well, in fact, you want to look at the exact search. So that's a broad search. You want to look at exact search. And these show the true searches. So the exact search, IT outsourcing, these are the people that are typing in IT outsourcing exactly, that phrase. It's only 12,100 people, but these, you know, could be people that are really relevant for what you're trying to sell or to offer. And as you can see here, again, I outsource IT, only 880 monthly searches. So in fact, the amount of traffic that you'll get is going to be somewhere between the broad search and the exact search. The broad search could be people searching for IT outsourcing companies in India. You know, that could be, that's just part of the entire broad search. So they're including all of those searches for all of the different combination of words that include outsource IT, for example. So in fact, you know, the actual results that you get are going to be somewhere between the 12,100 searches per month. If you were ranked, you know, #1 for IT outsourcing, you might get 40% of that, plus you'll get a certain percent, maybe another 5% from just broad searches as well. So that's something that's good to know. So identifying keywords. First thing you want to know is their actual search volume on the particular keyword phrase. You want to know what your competition is for that particular keyword. So the competition, your true competition, are the people that have that particular keyword in the page titles on their page and the content on their page on the site that are purposely trying to rank for that keyword. Those are your true competitors. And you could outrank a major important site if they're not focused on a particular keyword phrase. relevancy. Does the keyword that you're ranking for, again, does it meet, is it relevant to the audience needs, or is it attracting the type of clients that you're looking for? So for local and geo-targeted search, location may be the ultimate keyword. So if someone was looking for pizza shop in Locust Valley, New York, you know that that's specific, and you could probably rank for that pretty easily if you're geo-targeting your search engine campaign, if that's relevant for your particular client. So converting keywords is the other thing that's very important, and it's a big difference between different searches. So for instance, if someone's just doing research, a tier 1, they're just doing research, they might be looking for a keyword such as IT outsourcing trends. So you have to put your foot in the shoes of the person, or enter the mindset of the person that's searching for that particular phrase. They're probably doing research. Maybe they're doing research for a school project or something. It might not be the potential client that you're looking for. The tier 2, the next level, would be people looking for shopping related terms like IT outsourcing companies. They're out there, they're shopping for different companies. They might not be ready to buy, they may just be doing their research. And tier 3 is the highest tier. These are people that are ready to buy. So someone searching for IT outsourcing RFP process, you know that they're ready to submit an RFP to potential service providers. So let me just show you an example of that. If you search for IT outsourcing RFP process, good old outsourcing.com comes up number 1 and number 2 right below the paid ads. Okay. So once you find your list of keywords that your ideal clients will be searching for, you want to put them to work. You want to have a campaign where you do organic search for them. You want to do social search for them. You want to do paid search for them. You want to have everything focused on those particular keywords in order to outrank your competitors. So a good way to do it, and one of the things that we often do, is if the keyword is available as a domain name. So if we were able to get IT outsourcing RFP, for instance, as a domain name, we would get that domain name and build a blog and point the links from that blog to your main site that you're trying to get people to go to. So if you look here, you'll see this quite often in the search engines where, lockandkeycabinet.com in this example ranks high for the term lock and key cabinet, because right in the domain name, so it tells the search engines that that's what that particular site is relevant for. So building links come from a variety of sources. You can get one-way links from relevant sites that will link to you. You can do that with article directories where you submit articles to. Inbound links from directories also. There are directories that list different sites in a particular category that you can get inbound links from on those sites. And there's Web 2.0, like blog posting. Like if you have a really good page on your site, a really good blog post, or a really good information page with a lot of good content, you'll find that people will naturally link to your particular page, and those natural links are really, really good for the search engine rankings, because this is what we call link bait. So you could, if you have a page on your site, like say for instance you have a page dedicated to the top 10 article about the top 10 outsourcing service providers for call center outsourcing in India, and you have an article in legitimately the top 10, and from an authority site like outsourcing.com, you'll find that other sites will link to that particular article when they're referencing something about the best call center outsourcing outfits in India, for an example. So having good content gets you natural links, and you could also build links from social media sites, from press releases that you put out. These press releases get distributed to all the different press release sites. So it's a lot of grunt work and a lot of manual labor with submitting these links to get links back to your site, but it has long-term benefits for your site. So social media is also very, very important, as I mentioned earlier, not only for links, but because 78% of consumers trust peer recommendations. So if you have contacts on LinkedIn and they're recommending a certain company, you're more likely to trust that than you are to trust, a page, an ad that you see on the search engines. It shows that only 14% of consumers actually trust advertisements, and only 18% of traditional TV campaigns generate a positive ROI. So when you compare that to 78% of customers trusting peer recommendations, you can see why social media is so powerful. And below is just some of the listings of different social media sites that you could have a presence on. So Ping FM is a really good tool that helps you communicate on all these different social networking sites all at once from one platform. So you can send out an update to your Facebook site, to your Twitter page, to LinkedIn, to all these different sites all at once, right from Ping FM. So it's a valuable resource. And the power of YouTube. YouTube is actually the #2 search engine in the world. Like, a lot of searches come up in the search engine. Like Google owns YouTube. And when Google ranks pages in its index, it often shows YouTube videos as part of their overall diversified rankings. So I'll show you an example of that. And besides Google showing a lot of love to YouTube, it also is people just searching directly on YouTube for different things, like how to do things, tutorials and whatnot. So if you look at a buyer keyword such as, or a very important keyword in the industry, such as how to respond to an RFP, a tutorial for how to respond to an RFP, you'll see that YouTube comes up in the top 2 results for that particular search. So if you have a strong presence on YouTube, you're likely to get a lot of traffic from the search engines and from YouTube itself. So I'll wrap it up with some of your options for search engine optimization. Obviously, you could do it yourself, get educated on nuances of search engine marketing strategies. You could spend the time, effort, and energy required to seek out links, to build links back to your site. You could plan to spend hours weekly writing and posting content. You can subscribe to SEO monitoring tools, monitor the results. These are all things that we do for our clients. If you want to do it yourself, you could always do it yourself. Or the other option is employ a full-time SEO, SEM, social media expert. If you have the budget, that's another way to go. But be aware that that's only one person that you're employing, and often to compete you have to have a team of people working on your site. You can engage an advertising agency to do it for you, but it's a huge expense, and a lot of times they just take the work and outsource it to another company such as us. We have a lot of advertising agencies that refer clients to us. Or you could outsource to local experts, or in-house expert. We have a team of in-house expert techs. We have a complete offering. We have the experience. You're able to communicate directly with us. So we will be an example of someone you could outsource your search engine and search engine marketing work to. So I'll wrap it up with that. As Dan mentioned a little bit about me, I'm an MBA, a CFA, New York Times bestselling author. I'm also a certified Google advertising professional. I am the president of Net Advisory Group in Locust Valley, and I am in strategic partnership with the Outsourcing Institute, and we specialize in providing SEO services to the outsourcing industry. So for a free evaluation, if you like what you heard tonight, you want to get more information, or you want us to actually look into helping your particular site, you can get a free evaluation by contacting me, Ron at Net Advisory Group, or at that office phone number right there. I'd like to thank you guys, and I guess we'll open it up for questions. Dan, are you there?
I am. Ron, thank you. This is actually, I was looking forward to this presentation for a while. As you know, we're revamping our SEO strategy here at Outsourcing Institute with the launch of our new site. So this is actually very relevant for me. So at this time, if anybody has any questions, please use the Q&A panel and start sending them in for Ron. While we're waiting for those questions to come in, Ron, one of the questions I have, which I think is the question of many of the people on here, is how do we start, right? So SEO is new to a lot of organizations. So if the CMO is on the line right now and doesn't have a person in house for this and doesn't know really how to get started, how do you suggest an organization starts? What are the first couple things you would do if they have zero or next to zero SEO strategy today?
Right. Well, usually when we meet with clients, we start out by trying to get a good understanding of their business, of their potential clients, of what their potential clients may be searching for if they're interested in their service. We get an idea of what the competition is. So it starts with a thorough evaluation of the competitive landscape and the goals of the company and what phrases they're trying to rank for in the search engines, and whether we could do that through SEO or through search engine marketing, through paid ads, through social media. We put together a plan, and then from there we submit a proposal. So that's a big part of the process of getting started is just understanding what the expectations should be and what you should focus on in terms of generating leads from the internet.
So how about the organizations? There's some large corporations, of course, on our membership that have many different service lines, many different businesses, very different value propositions depending on their target audience. So, where do you start there? Is it a handful of areas where you have to decide where you want to be relevant and what you want to be known as? What's the right number of products or service lines to really start off with?
Right. Well, SEO work especially requires a good amount of time. You just don't, despite what some people might advertise, you just don't rank, the next day for certain competitive phrases. So, it would just start, like I mentioned, as an evaluation of the business and what they're trying to accomplish, and then we would kind of handpick maybe 4 or 5 different keywords to focus on. We would analyze their particular website to see if it's optimized, to see what their content strategy is, because really at the end of the day, it's about content, it's about links, and it's about when people get to your site, what do they actually receive? What's your strategy for when they land on your page? Do you have a good follow-up system in place? What's your particular marketing strategy? So these are all things that we look at in conjunction along with our clients.
Great, great. I have a question here about analytics. You talked about Google Analytics. Is your recommendation Google Analytics, or are there some other tools that you'd recommend?
Well, yeah, Google Analytics pretty much tells you everything you need to know. It's very robust. Everything you need to know about your site in terms of SEO. There's also, with most hosting providers, they provide a cPanel or some type of AW stats. That combined with Google Analytics works really well. We have our own analytical type of software to determine a competitive landscape in addition to Google Analytics, because Google Analytics won't tell you how competitive a particular search phrase is. It won't tell you, how many links you need to get to outrank your competitors. It won't tell you where your competitors are getting their links into their site from. So we have other software tools in addition to Google Analytics that do all that. But Google Analytics is, I would say every site should have Google Analytics installed on every page of your site just for your own ranking and tracking and evaluation purposes.
So the next question is around link building strategies. What strategies do you have to build links back to a client's site, and how do you avoid creating so-called link spam?
Right. Well, we like to generate links through content. So if you have good content, you can do guest blogging on other sites, that accept content on other authority sites. You could submit that content to article directories. You can reference that content from different social media sites. So if you have good content, I've never seen a site with good content be considered as spam. If people want to read it, it's never considered spam. So we focus on links built from quality content and also from video sharing sites as well. Like there's a dozen other sites besides YouTube that accept videos that you could take an article or PowerPoint and take the main points from that particular article, create a SlideShare type of video from it, and submit those to different sites. So it's a lot of content syndication is what we focus on to build links.
Great. A question about redesigning existing sites. So when you redesign an existing site and you change the domain name, how does that affect ranking? And how do you revive bookmarks that people have set for you?
Right, good question. When you change the domain name on a site, what you want to do is called the 301 redirect. So what that does is every page that's indexed on that particular site is automatically redirected to the new domain name. So you don't lose any search engine benefits, any bookmarks. If anyone bookmarked your site, once they type in the name of that site or click a link pointing to their old site, it's automatically redirected to the new site. So 301 redirect is the standard way to keep your rankings and point to a new site.
So Ron, I know the question that a lot of people are probably sitting here asking, which is, how long does it take to see results, right? How long do I have to, if it's bring somebody in, if it's outsource it? Somebody made a comment here about I think this is a full-time job, so is the only solution to outsource it. But how long does it take to really start seeing the results where you can say, yes, this is working, or no, it's not?
Right. Well, it really depends on the competitive landscape, the competition. If I wanted to rank for Daniel Goodstein Outsourcing Institute, I probably could have you rank for that by this time next week. But if I want to rank for something that people are really searching for a lot, that's very competitive, it could take anywhere from 3 to 6 months normally. If it's a very, very competitive term, it could take 6 to 9 months. But it's definitely a process because Google doesn't update its search engine results and its rankings that often. They prefer sites that are aged, and they prefer sites that they can trust. So it takes a while for them to, especially with a new site. Now, if you have an aged site like outsourcing.com, I think you guys started that site in '95 or something like that. It's
Yep.
a little bit easier to get you ranking. But I would say 3 to 6 months on average.
So really interesting question around, actually two questions on social media, Ron. One is, what sort of social media channels do you recommend? And the follow-up question is, do they matter equally? Is there a difference, based on industry that you've seen with certain social media working better for different types of business?
Right. For a business-to-business type of industry like the outsourcing industry, I would say that LinkedIn would probably be the most powerful site. For a business-to-consumer type of company or type of industry, I would say Facebook is very important. But there are thousands of different little social media sites that you could have a profile on and have a presence on. The biggest thing about social media is the viral aspect of it. So say, for instance, if you have a Facebook page, and just because you're a business-to-business company doesn't mean that you shouldn't have a Facebook page. You should definitely have a Facebook page because it helps with your rankings, and you could have a lot of executives have a Facebook page, whether it's for personal use or business use. Practically everybody has a Facebook page these days, so you should definitely have a presence on it no matter what type of company you are. But back to the viral aspect of it, if I'm the CEO of outsourcing.com and I'm on Facebook and I have friends in the industry that are also on Facebook and they see that I'm a member of this particular site or I like this particular page on Facebook, they're likely to check out that page as well. So you get a lot of viral traffic from friends of members. Their friends actually see what their organizations and what pages they're part of. Same thing with LinkedIn as well. So there's the viral aspect of it. I'd say you should try to have a presence on as many of the sites as you could possibly manage. And a tool like Ping FM also helps because it allows you to post on all the different social media sites simultaneously from one interface.
Okay, and as far as the benefits of investing in SEO, do you see it as typically a short-term thing, or my sense is you're going to say it's more of a long-term benefit? So, is it when do you start seeing that benefit, and how do you know, right? So ROI is a conversation I have on a daily basis with my members. So how do you connect something that's activity and traffic based to leads and revenue?
Right. Well, one of the things we did for you guys is we baseline where you're at currently, how much traffic you're getting currently, where you're ranking for certain keyword phrases, and how much traffic you're getting from those keyword phrases currently. And then we compare it, every couple of months we look at it to see, are you getting more traffic, are you getting, more leads from it. So you could pretty much baseline it and then compare years later, you still be good. It's definitely a long-term benefit to search engine rankings, because once you're ranked in the top 3, unless someone else is actively competing to knock you down, you're going to stay there for a long period of time, and you're going to reap the benefits of that initial investment for definitely a long period of time as well. And the other thing is, once you build it up to the point where you're ranking for a particular phrase, someone else could bump you down and outrank you for that phrase, but you have the benefit of the work that you've already done, so you don't have to start from scratch. You could just build on that, and you could easily bump them back down. So it's a constant change in Google's algorithm where one person's listed as number 1, and then some person comes along and bumps them down to number 2, but you can easily get back to number 1 if you focus your efforts on ranking your site again. So you definitely have a long-term benefit from it.
Great, makes sense. Last question is regarding social media. What do you suggest as far as, and maybe this is the same for content, so let me broaden the question by saying social media and content strategy in general. What are your thoughts on a media presence for an executive, for example, versus for the business or the service line as a whole? Should you have both? Should you have one or the other? What is your sense?
Right. Well, an executive, well, there's 2 ways you could do it. You could have a social media set up where it's private for just your employees, where they can share things, kind of like an intranet type of setup, like maybe like a closed group on Facebook or LinkedIn, just for your particular employees that want to socialize and get to know each other. You could also, if you're an executive, have a Twitter account where people in the company or people outside the company, if you're an industry icon or well-respected in the industry, people will follow you. And really, it's just a form of instant communication, free communication, whereas you could reach a mass group of people from one platform. Just, it might take you 10 seconds. Like if you're on Twitter and you have a couple thousand people in the industry following you, just think of how easy it is to send out a communication to all of them through Twitter in 140 characters. It might take you 10 seconds to do it, 20 seconds or whatever, but compare that to if you didn't have that following and you were trying to reach 2,000 people, how much would it cost you to reach all of them if you didn't have that immediate type of way to contact them through the internet? So it's just something that everybody should have, and there's so many different ways you could use that power of the internet. It also helps if you have your own email list, your own newsletter where you're communicating different things that are important about the industry, and you're able to reach scores of people all at once electronically. It's just a great power to have, and every business should utilize that.
Great. Ron, let me squeeze one last one in here. There's a good question here around, you talked about authority sites. So other than the obvious industry sites and outsourcing.com and the like, how do you determine an authority site that's worth building links upon?
Right, that's a good question. We have certain tools that tell us what the page rank is for a given site. So any site that has a page rank of 5, 6, or 7, or very few have 8 or 9, but a page rank of 5 and above indicates that it's definitely an authority site. And like outsourcing.com has a page rank of 5, and the site's been around since 1995. It's the industry authority, so it's pretty easy to identify that it's an authority site.
Okay, great. Ron, I think that's it. Great job. Appreciate all this insight. I think we did a good job of answering some good questions and taking a deep dive a little bit on a few different things here. So I want to wrap up by saying, if anybody's interested in speaking more with Ron or getting a consultation with Ron about SEO, please reach out to him or reach out to us, and we will get you connected with him. Also, again, a couple reminders. Registration for our June 28th roadshow will open up in a few days. If anybody's interested in participating, please let me know, or if I can help with any other sales and marketing needs, please feel free to reach out to me. And look out for our next Sell More Outsourcing webinar next month. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a great day.